Back at you with the meal that I said that I would do. This Chef 5-minute meals beef stroganoff, and this came in a box of goodies that I had got. And some of these have a retort pouch that you put up to the handling, so just to be on the safe side, I think I will boil it. There is JW in the house, and Dan's in the house. When I opened that box, there's the heater meals. I had reviewed one of those a couple years ago from Sticky Finger 745. Him up. That's a different one. I will review that later, but so just there we go. It flipped like that, but it did. But anyway, so still, but I had this 2012 scallop or au gratin potato. So I thought, you know, I will add this. So I will boil this as well. And then this is one of the 2 fruit soups that I recently got. See, up in Canada had sent me that. He sent, these are the strawberry fruit soup. And he sent 2 of these, so I will have this as dessert. I was going to have another item, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this, and this one, the package just barely got nicked, so I had put a piece of tape on it. So I decided that I will go ahead and open up this one, and I'll do it in this bowl. And then he sent me he said, sorry, bought my phone out. This is the French vanilla. So I will have that in my Fort Marie mug. And then my cold drink. This is the guava from South African Ration. I was poking around on eBay earlier this afternoon, and I had seen a listing for 2 South African rations, and one of them probably has the same guava drink, but it would cost a crap ton to get it shipped here, and no guarantee that all of the contents would survive custom. So, but I decided I'm going to have this guava drink in my drinking jar. I will. I just took the scalloped potatoes out of the box. Now I will open this. See, this box did take some rough handling, even though it was delivered by UPS. This is the Stroganoff. I have boiled these before. In fact, when I did an Israeli item that's similar to this, it had the same type of container. Boiled that really well. Then this is the tray that it comes with, and it looks okay, but it's gotten near. This is just a foam tray, and it has been pressed into with the spoon or this spork, and of course I won't be using that because I will be using my for an MRE titanium spork. But there is just a napkin and salt and pepper in here. James Ortiz in the house. So I just got kicked off. I don't know why, but this there is. I'll go ahead and open this bag up. Pouch, so it's a salt water that's in here. I watched one of the other reviewers open up one of these, and he actually tasted the water. So this is basically salt water, but the heating element is quite substantial. But this tray does not look very deep. Again, this is I can actually save this. Which I will do because I'm pretty sure it's good. It's just that not trust doing it on this tray, and since boiling the scalloped potatoes anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and boil this with. I'll put the pouch in first, and then I'll put this in on top. Just because I want to have more contact with the hot water. This tray is so shallow, you couldn't put much water in there. So I just don't trust it. So that's what I will do. So this is what the French vanilla sweet and creamy looks like. These South African drink pouches, and Blind Fox, who is in South Africa, has commented on this. These delaminate easy, even when they are very new. But that is what the drink powder looks like. Ever since I saw Nathan of Nathan's MRE open up one of these fruit soups, I've been very interested in it. Oops, sorry about the phone mount again. Now this calls for 500 mils of water, and the strawberry scent that is coming off of this thing is definitely there. It is a bit clumped up because it did take a little bit of moisture, but I'm not too concerned about it. What I will do is I will put these on the stove, and I will grab my kettle with the boiling water. So I will mix the 3-in-1 coffee and the fruit soup, and then I'll go ahead and get the cold water for the guava drink because I did not get that out yet. But I'll be right back. Now, when Nathan has opened up these fruit soups, they tend to thicken up even after all of the powder has dissolved. So I wanted to go ahead and stir this up first. This will get a second stir. I'll stir it a few more times. I just added a little bit more water after I stirred it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit this back there. Now I'm going to bring this forward, and then I will go get the cold water for that drink, and I'll be right back. These do not say how much water to use, so I decided to go with the drinking jar. I have had the dried guava before, but this will be my first time having a guava flavored drink. This seems to have mixed pretty well. So I'm not sure if this stuff will clear up as it sits. I decided to go up for the old Tupperware tray. I'm stirring the fruit soup again. It is starting to thicken up. Oh, so I'll check the chat. I just saw that about the South African rations. I mean, Blind Fox is in South Africa, and he has a lot of things to say about those rations. I have had the sweet biscuits. I do like those. There's Zambaretto is in the house, but some of the items in there, when Blind Fox says something in a South African ration is just not good, there's got to be something there because, you're local eating the local food, and when it's not all that great, or the packaging is not all that great because they can easily be compromised from what I have seen on previous Blind Fox reviews. Yeah, I don't doubt that that they would not be some of the greatest things in the world. But the biscuits that come in those rations, I would definitely eat those again. And the muesli that is in there, it's unsweetened. And the coffee, Blind Fox says the coffee is extremely weak. And you would probably maybe get the real coffee flavor if you used only 2 ounces of water. Or you'd have to do 3 or 4 of them to get, this much coffee that actually tastes like coffee. And that's saying something when the coffee that you're offered is pretty much not much more than colored water. But I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of this guava drink because I do like the smell of it. It tastes like guava, but there's just something. It might be a little bit too sweet for a natural guava flavor. But it's actually not too bad. That's actually a decent drink. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that those soldiers in the field probably had their own stuff where they traded. And they get the cheese in a little plastic tube. You cannot reseal it. I don't know if it's supposed to be formulated to withstand a hot environment, since South Africa is a hot country. But when Blind Fox says even the cheese that comes in is not good, that's saying something. And there have been a couple of those rations where the ration would be still in date, but the little packets of the milk that's in there, they had already gone south. They were just not usable. They stunk when you open them. Or they're so far past their best buy date that there was just no sense in opening it because it would be bad. Hey, CT, you know what I got in the bowl? Recognize that? I got the fruit soup in the bowl. I got the French vanilla in the mug. And I'm having that with this. The Halal Ration will come later on. It's in line behind some other ones. It's supposed to be cold. Well, I mixed it with hot water, so. I think Nathan has done this with hot water too. At least the few times I've seen him review these, he's done these hot. But there is an actual piece of strawberry in there, but well, it'll be pretty cooled down once I go to eat it, but this guava, it's a little too sweet. But then again, maybe it called for more water, but the pouch did not say how much water, so I just went for a drinking jar full. But I still have a little bit of water left in the bottle, so I could add a little bit more. And along with the Stroganoff, I decided to go for au gratin potatoes as a side, instead of pulling out some crackers and some kind of a spread, or grabbing a First Strike bar, which I still could do, but I wanted to go ahead and do this just because I feel like it. That's okay, but I will get to that Halal MRE in a while. I've got a few others ahead of it. Yeah, but this French vanilla 3-in-1 is pretty darn good. So I will definitely be enjoying more of those. And safe travels. Just stay out of the hurricane's path. Well, it's a tropical storm now, but hope you're not going that far southeast. If you haven't checked out CT's channel, do check him out. Been doing some road shots along with the Ration reviews, and I did recently see a video of him reviewing frozen pizza that is sold up there in Canada, and he did that at his house. But it's a brand that's not sold down here. But that was cool seeing him review a frozen pizza. But do go check out CT's channel. He travels all over Canada. He travels all over the US. So he's back and forth a lot. And he likes trying out different pizzas from different places. Well, that's good. You should be safe over there. Nothing seems to be running up the coast over there. But thanks for dropping in. Yes, I'll do go check him out. But I will go get that emery that he sent. And I'll be right back. This is a mil-spec Halal certified emery. These do not come with a menu number. These are packed by Sapaco, the same company that did the low sodium ones. And up until last year, all of the snacks were in these silver foil pouches that were no thicker than that packet that I just emptied out for the Guava Drink. And there's no coffee in there, which I don't understand why when coffee is halal. But I think there's like 8 menus. I'm not sure. I'd have to actually buy a whole case of the halal MREs to find out what all the menus are. But this one is one I have not had yet. It's vegetable barley stew with lamb. And this one I'm looking for the pack date on it. So this one is 2018. Might not be able to focus through there, but this is 2018. I don't think these were done in 2008. I think Muslims and Jews are probably either given vegetarian meals or kosher options. But it's got a ration heater. It's got the same spoon. But the accessory pack in these is different than it is for the standard mil-spec MRE. Oh wow, then you know, I've had a few of the menus. I've had the halal chicken. I've had the Jafrezi with lamb. So this is the second lamb one. I've had the halal beef stew. And so this will be the fourth one. This there's the ratatouille is also in the halal line, but I have not had that. So this will be the second lamb one that I've had. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying this. So, but this will come up behind some others that I have ahead of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back. I'm using my Sapaco box to keep my rations in so I can put them in order as I want to do them. And so that's just working out, having that box that I can just keep using to put these in as I get them. I am back. I'm just using a paper towel to wipe off the scalloped potatoes pouch. This is a 5-ounce. Because it's a side, it's not a full 8-ounce portion. But this is one of those that has a tear notch going across this way instead of across this way. So I shake it down like that. Gonna get that out of the way. I'm just drying off this thing. The scalloped potatoes, the sauce is very, very liquid. So I will keep the stroganoff inside of this container. Just stuffing the top into here, and then I'll just put this into the original meal box. So this is what the stroganoff looks like. I probably could just slide the potatoes over. And then I could put this in here like that. That way it'll be in view. Now I got everything in view. This is scalloped potato. That is a little saltier than what I would personally like, but it tastes just like the scalloped potatoes I used to get when I was in high school. And this stroganoff is actually a lot thinner than what I'm used to with stroganoff. Usually it's a lot thicker than this. And the sauce is usually a little, at least the stroganoff that I've had, has been a little bit lighter in color. But it's time to find out how it tastes. I can definitely taste the bits of mushroom. The pasta is very, very soft. It should be more al dente than what this is. But the sauce is actually it's actually not all that bad. It's an egg noodle that's in this. The beef that's in here, let's see if I can get a bigger piece of it. It's pretty heavily processed. It's almost like they took ground beef and formed it into cubes. That's what the texture is like. But there is some seasoning in here, so it's actually seasoned pretty good. I can get a hint of the sour cream. But it definitely needs to be thicker. But I do have an idea. This may sound a bit weird, but you know what? I'm going to go with it. several months ago, Art and Nina sent me, along with some other items, a whole bunch of these packs of busted up Russian crackers. And, you know, these are perfect for soup. You know, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these bits in here. I'll start out with just that for now. I really didn't mean for this bigger piece to get in there, but what the heck. So I'll use this to absorb some of the liquid from the sauce. Maybe give it a little bit more of that chewable texture that the noodles are definitely lacking. I'm just going to let those sit in there. Now this is that fruit soup that CT says should be cold. I didn't try to translate the instructions. I just went by what I had seen before. But it has thickened up. But there's actual bits of strawberry. That is definitely full of natural strawberry flavor. There are some other fruit flavors in these European fruit soups that I would love to get my paws on. But now I can see why Nathan's Emery, he goes nuts for these. That is absolutely delicious. Since I do have another one of these packets, I may go ahead and next time do it cold. And I guess CT is going to try doing one of these hot. But on a cold day, if you want something fruity and warm, I don't see why you could do one of these hot. I think that would be a... There is Pat Miller in the house. 2 weeks off. Does that mean, are you on furlough or unpaid leave or something like that? Oh, I didn't even... Let's see. I'm not sure if I can do that. I can view. Since I'm on my phone, I can't do much when it comes to There is one thing I can do. I'm going to see if I can do this. I can unhide. What I did was, it was marked as he got hidden, so I did the unhide. So that's one thing that I can do on my phone. My computer has crapped out, so I can't do any admin stuff on my phone. But if Daniel would, I don't think I can. Nope, I cannot restore on my phone something that has been deleted. But I unhid. So if Daniel, if you put that comment again, or at least paraphrase it, then it will come back. So that's as much as I can do. Mistakes happen. I'm going back for the stroganoff with the cracker in it now. Although it doesn't taste like a proper stroganoff, adding the bits of cracker does give it a bit more substance. But the seasoning in this, I'd say they got it right with that. It's just that the pasta is overcooked. Although with the sauce this thin, I think it would be good on top of mashed potatoes. But I don't have any instant potatoes to try this on top of. I could try putting some of these scalloped potatoes in there. I'll throw a few bits in there to see if a little bit of the cheese sauce will add anything to it. Yep, adding the potato definitely does help it out a bit. So I'll put a little bit more of it in there. And a little bit of cheese sauce that went in with the potato will definitely kind of help tighten up the sauce a little bit. Plus, it definitely adds a little bit of extra flavor to it. And if someone would think this needs a bit of salt but doesn't want to add salt to it, put the scalloped potatoes in, and that will do it, since these are quite salty. At least to me they are. I tend not to put a lot of extra salt in when I'm cooking something. I'll put in just enough to do what the salt needs to do. And I don't add any when I'm eating the food. So this salt and pepper, those will go into one of my stashes that I have. I saved these salt and pepper packets. They're good for putting in my camping food bag, or just my, I could toss a couple in my bug out bag to go with any of the food items I might have in there. You know, I got some packs of tuna in there. You know, one of those, like the pasta side things, I got one of those in there. Actually, I think I ate that one, so I would need to replace it. But I'll find something that can pack down just a little bit more. But the salt and pepper would definitely go in there. Yeah, this French vanilla 3-in-1 that CT sent me, that's pretty darn good. Occasionally I'll get the French vanilla coffee creamer, and I'll use that in my coffee. But this is the first time I've had an actual 3-in-1 that's already French vanilla flavored. That's okay, James. Thanks for dropping in. There'll be other times. Hopefully you'll not have to work a whole lot this coming week. Oh, CT's, yeah, that'll be good for CT to get some time off. He can just chill at home, enjoy the Canadian summer. And he'll probably spend the time buying up more rations to restock his truck, because he carries those with him when he goes from place to place. But yeah, I had a good time on my trip. I came home on Friday. I left a week ago today, so last Sunday I left. So that's why I was not live. And I came home Friday. I didn't catch darn fish. And I posted on Facebook that I just wrote skunked. And some people did not understand that skunked does not always mean getting sprayed by a black and white animal with a reputation for being pungent. means you didn't catch a single fish. Basically, your fishing experience stunk because you didn't catch anything. But I wasn't the only one who was having issues with fishing. My sisters didn't catch very many keepers. We didn't keep them anyway. We put them all back into the water. And a lot of other people on the lake were having the same issue. Fishing was just not good that week. But we still had a good time. We had good food. We had a couple of good fires. And we got to see a couple of the upgrades they did to the cabins. They put a new linoleum floor in it that it looks like wood, but it's just one long sheet of linoleum, I guess to make it easier to clean than the old floor. And they replaced some of the mattresses on the bunks, although they could stand to replace more of them. But even the new mattresses were really strange to sleep on. But it was a nice day for the 2 days that we went to the beach end of the lake. And one of my great niece's friends actually came to spend 2 nights. So the full day that she was with us was the second day we went to the beach. And so my great niece had someone her age to play with. So, but there are not very many people either just hanging out on the beach or actually in the swimming area, which is good because 2 days prior to that, it was pretty busy at the beach. But we still had a good time. And even though it's a lot harder for my mom to get around these days because we use an accessible cabin that does not have steps to go up into it, and there's bars around the toilet to grab onto and in the shower. It made things a whole lot easier for her. And we got to test out a new piece of gear that one of my sisters bought. It's a propane-powered griddle. So we had that along with the camp stove, the old Coleman camp stove, the 2-burner one. So we did most of our cooking on both of those, and that definitely made it a lot easier. Now we did some cooking over the fire, but we only had enough wood for 2 nights of fire, so there are a couple other nights. There was a chance of rain, but that blew past us. But that's okay. Yeah, we had the fires when it counted. We had s'mores. But we are already booked for next year. In fact, we booked the same 2 cabins before we even left. And that's what you got to do in a place like that, a very popular camping area. If you know you want to go there time and time again, you got to book as far in advance as you can get. And we almost didn't get it, but there was one group that canceled. And so one of my sisters pounced and we got it. Plus, it makes it a lot easier to schedule your vacation time. You can put that time in far enough ahead that you're more likely to get it. So that's another reason why we book before we even leave. But they are adding on to other areas of that county park that surrounds the lake. So I think there's going to be more to see when we get there next time. Having another drink of the guava. But the place where we went is called Lake Icaria. And it is in the county here in Iowa, outside of the town where my late dad grew up, near another town, a smaller town where he was actually born. So that's another reason why we go there. Plus, there is a memorial bench out there with my dad's name on it. See, that lake has benches around it for people to sit on. But if you pay the county a certain amount of money, you can have a loved one's name put on that bench. And that will always stay there. The county maintains those benches. Puts fresh finish on them every few years. So that's why we get these particular 2 cabins, is they are near the bench that I call my dad's bench. We used to camp and fish there when we were little kids. I mean, not super little, but my brother would have been a real little kid because he's 4 years behind me in age. But yeah, we have been going there before the cabins were added, before the RV hookup spots were added, before a lot of stuff is there. We knew it as strictly tent camping only. But that is our family's go-to spot every year. So I hope all of you have been able to do a little something this summer, for fun. The way things are going, I'd get your vacations in now before more places go into some form of a lockdown, or at least put some restrictions back. Since the big nasty is running rampant. Iowa does not have a statewide mask order, but there is growing pressure for our governor to issue one. Whether she chooses to do that or not, I don't know. But our schools are starting up, some in a couple of weeks. Some will not open until after Labor Day. Typically, Iowa schools, unless they are part of the year-round school setup, schools do not open until after the Iowa State Fair. But because we are not having that fair this year, some schools may choose to open early with modified schemes for social distancing and requiring masks and health checks and all that stuff that a larger facility would be doing. Others will not open till after Labor Day. It all depends on what each district decides to do that is best for their people. Even though the governor wants all schools open to at least have time spent in classrooms, but in bigger schools with higher student populations, you can't social distance inside the school. You'd have to put some of them outside. Or stagger class times where they might start earlier in the morning, run later in the day, and you'd have to have additional staff to spread those bigger classes out. But my oldest sister no longer has to deal with that because she has officially retired as of June 1st. But later on in the fall, she may go back as a substitute or a teacher associate. Just so that she can keep health insurance. Because after retirement from the school district, you get your health insurance for a certain amount of time. And then that ends unless you go the COBRA route. COBRA is just a health insurance scheme where you keep the health insurance from your former employer, but you pay all of the premium, you pay all of the other out-of-pocket expenses, but that costs you a crap ton of money to do that. So she's going to go back to work, not only so she can keep the health insurance, but so she can have additional income because she's still paying on her house. Plus, she's only 58. She's nowhere near ready to draw Social Security, and her IPERS, which is a retirement benefit for state or municipal government employees. Because that pension alone will not be enough for her to live on, because she is basically homeschooling a young girl, at least part-time, while her mother works. So she's now free to do that. Oh, Hidden Numismatist is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, my chat wasn't popping anything for a while, so I better check it. But yeah, I am doing good. I had a good trip. Didn't catch any fish, but at least I tried. But I'll show you what I've been stuffing my face with. This is the item that I said that I would do. I got done with the Sapaco case. So this is beef stroganoff, the chef 5-minute meals. I got this in the mystery box from the Minotaur Trading Company. And as a side, au gratin potatoes from 2012. I added some of the potato and some busted up Russian crackers to this stroganoff because the sauce is so thin and the pasta is so overcooked. They do need to work on their pasta. It should, even though it's an egg noodle, it should still have a little bit more chew to it. It should still be al dente. But although the beef is like ground beef that's been formed into cubes, it's still pretty well seasoned. I can taste the mushroom. I can taste the sour cream in it. It doesn't need any additional salt or pepper. But I threw a little bit of the scalloped potatoes in there just to give it a little extra substance, along with some busted up Russian crackers. But this stroganoff in this thin sauce would be great over top of mashed potatoes. It would have been nice to have a little bit more actual mushroom in there, but at least I got some. And then in here is that South African Guava Drink. Ration had that. It was Minotaur, one of those two, one of Black Dog Bob's sister companies. So it's got the good guava flavor, but I think it's just a little bit too sweet. But then again, I may have added, I didn't add enough water, but the packet did not say how much to put in, so I have a little bit of water left in my bottle, so I'm just going to dump it in. That'll thin it out just a little bit. Maybe cut the sugar. But Then in here is one of the French vanilla 3-in-1 coffees that I got from CT, who sent me Halal MRE along with a few other goodies. And I'll slide my tray over so I can get, since I pretty much finished that off. This is that strawberry fruit soup. He sent me 2 of these. It gets thicker as it's, as it sets, and I did it hot, but when he was here, he said that it's supposed to be done cold, but you can see actual strawberry in there. But he says next time he does one of these, he's going to try it hot. And since I have another one of these fruit soups, I will try it cold. But doing it hot is how I saw Nathan of Nathan's MRE do it when he's reviewed some of these. But this is really good. It gets thicker. So it's more like a syrup. But it's a natural strawberry flavor. And it calls for 500 mils of water, so basically a little over 2 cups. So that's why I went for this white bowl, because it is a bigger bowl than the metal one that I normally use when I'm doing a soup. Oh, these are from some European rations. It's German. There's German on the packet, so these would be found in German rations or maybe Austrian rations. The one German civilian EPA that I did not have a fruit soup in it. It had something else in there, but for a dessert. But this is really good. I don't know if he got these from rations or if he was just able to buy them as a single item. But this is definitely something I will go for again. Probably be good on a hot day or a cold day to make this hot. And I try the other one cold, what it's like when it's not heated. That could be. Yeah, Karsten is one of Nathan's sources, or one of Smokey's sources in Germany. Yeah, he comes into Smokey's chats on Saturday sometimes. But I don't know if he has sent stuff to Nathan or not, or if there's been some other trading back and forth. But even though I have never personally benefited from Karsten's generosity and resourcefulness. This is something that he would have easy access to, since this is German. Yeah, yep. Karsten is good people. So, even if you don't physically get something from him, the info that he provides is very valuable. It's the same with Vasily, who has been trading with Nathan. Vasily is in Russia, and although he does his videos in Russia, in Russian, his channel, Outdoor Tactical, he's done a lot of ration reviews. He's done some other food reviews of individual food items, civilian items, and the outdoor settings that he's been using are absolutely awesome. I don't know exactly where Vasily is at, but wherever he has been doing his outdoor videos, he has got a killer view. And even though I don't know much Russian, I haven't messed with it since 87. And on and off for a while after that, when I was more active in coin and currency collecting, because I would be looking stuff up. But, I still enjoy watching his videos. Oh, wow. I can see why that would be, he's got such a killer view from a place like that. And, of course, Delicious in Poland, he can get some good stuff, and he's done some trading around, too. And he now has a channel that he does in Polish, which I subscribe to. I don't know a lot of the language of my ancestors, but I figure since he's Polish, I really enjoy seeing his stuff, and I do. He's Delicious has done all kinds of stuff like that. Oh, possibly. I wouldn't mind finding something unique to send to him as a trade for something. But even if I don't, that's okay. I just enjoy watching his stuff. Dang, that stuff was good. And next week, unless I choose to rearrange the items in that Sapaco box, I have that the custom 24-hour zombie ration that I got from allmres.com. I think I got that during the winter. Or maybe early spring when I got that. Then I was doing all those ration mashups. So I just pushed that back because I wanted to do all those. I think I ended up with 10 of those. And I was doing those during Ramadan since I wasn't going to the mosque. I was doing those later because during Ramadan I do not eat dinner until just after sunset. But I've been putting a few other things ahead of that. But I will get into that next week. And then I'll go back to items that came in the mystery box. I got that chocolate banana muffin top breakfast MRE from Minotaur Trading Company. And then I have the heater meals. That I'll do, and that one is one of those that's past the best by date, but so I will boil that instead of using the heater, because that's from 2000. The best buy on that one is 2014, so I'm going to boil it, so I'll be sure that it's fully heated. Now there is Katie in the house. Thanks for dropping in. First time seeing you come in here. Yeah, I know it's so easy to go overboard. And I placed another order yesterday. And I ordered a few items from Foreign MRE. So I should be getting that box later, probably towards the end of the week. So since Katie just joined in, this is Chef 5 Minute Meals beef stroganoff. This is an entree only. And I had a 2012 au gratin potatoes from a USMRE. I basically threw together kind of a version of my ration mashups where I combine elements of different rations and put them together to make a meal. This is a strawberry fruit soup that originally came from Germany. This is a French vanilla 3-in-1 coffee that was sent to me by a CT up in Canada. And this is pretty good. I like my coffee blonde and sweet. And that's not too sweet, so I can get the French vanilla flavor. This drink here is guava. It originally came out of a South African ration. I added just a tiny bit more water because it was just a tad too sweet. And the packet did not say how much water to use. And because the sauce in there was so thin, thinner than what a stroganoff sauce should be, I grabbed a pack of broken Russian crackers and threw a few bits of that in there. I will finish those off later. Oh yeah, that's what I do when I'm doing these ration mashups. Is I have had British items, Canadian, Russian. occasionally Spanish, although I don't have too much of that because it's harder to get the foreign rations. But I do have a Norwegian one in my foreignemery.com order. They just got a box of Norwegian Arctic field rations, and it looks like they're all vegetarian. They did not get customs rated. Some of them are breakfast rations. They have a muesli or some kind of a breakfast porridge type thing in it. And then some of them are, the one I ordered was a pasta in a tomato sauce. And there was another one that was on there, but that pasta and tomato sauce is the one that I was interested in. Yeah, I so far have not had any issues with package rating when I've ordered foreign rations. And the previous Halal Emery that I got, I actually ordered it from someone in Lithuania on eBay. There is Sue Nelson in the house. And I was a U.S. ration that it was going to get rated by customs, but it didn't. So when I order some from another country, Nathan's Emery does. He no longer says where he got the item unless it's from Vasily or Karsten. Those are the only two people he will specifically name when he gets something from them. Now this is a strawberry fruit soup that, this stuff is really, really good. Wouldn't mind having a few more actual bits of strawberry like that one. But it's natural strawberry flavor. But if I order a foreign ration from a site like allemerys.com or whatever, or Emery Mountain, I used to give those sites a plug, but after customs started raiding rations and stealing any entrees that contain beef, pork, chicken, or turkey, or lamb, they leave the fish ones alone. If a food contains fish, they leave it alone. If it's freeze-dried, regardless, they'll still filch it if it contains something other than fish. But yeah, I will not shout out those sites if I get a foreign ration from any site. I just want to be careful. I don't want to get those sellers into any trouble, and I don't want to get myself into any trouble. So I'm just choosing to be cautious, but I will definitely continue to seek out foreign rations. And it may take extra time to get here, but, that's okay. I'll just have other stuff to go with until I can get those in. But I'm glad that Art and Nina were able to get a full box of the Norwegian rations in. And if you've never tried one, the main entree is freeze-dried. So I have had So I keep hitting this dang foam melt. I have had one of those before. I don't remember what the main item was, but it was pretty darn good. It ranks right up there with the few Mountain House items that I've had. And of those, I've had the turkey tetrazzini from A Meal Cold Weather. I've had the chili mac and the spaghetti that Minotaur Trading Company put in their Titan 24-hour ration that they had. I don't know if they will bring those back, but there were the 2 freeze-dried entrees in there. And those are pretty good. So those are the other 2 Mountain House ration items that I've had. I definitely want to get the seafood chowder MCW. That's A Meal Cold Weather. And they come in a white bag instead of the tan bag that other mil-spec MREs come in. I also have the full set of the hot weather Moors, the modular operational ration enhancements, but I do not have the set of the cold weather Moors. I have the Amory, the Minotaur Trading Company version of the cold weather one, and I have the MRE Nation version of the hot weather Moor, but I don't have the actual mil-spec Moor packs that I'd like to get a hold of. I opened those up just to show the contents and to compare the different versions, but I have not eaten anything out of those. The Emory Nation one has a pizza in there. I know. I remember when Alaska Prepper bought a whole bunch of cases of the MCWs. I think it was like a year and a half ago. He got them from a local up there in Alaska who had a huge number of these cases, and a few different times he went over and bought from the same guy and just basically bought them out of all he had, and then he field stripped them all and basically put all light components into bins. So all the entrees are in a bin, all of the accessory packs are in a bin, all of the snacks are in a bin, all of the, he basically split them up like that so that they could be packed into much smaller space, and that is now part of his emergency food supply. And he did review every one of the menus that, in the MCW lineup. He reviewed all of those. But yeah, he bought up a whole bunch of them at a very, very good price from a local up there in Alaska who was wanting to unload. But yeah, they can get pretty pricey, and I've been looking to get a full case of the XMRE Halal, the XMRE Kosher, but every time I would see those come up, I don't have the extra money to buy those, so I don't. But and I like to get a full case of the mil-spec Halal ones. But CT sent me a box that had the My Own Meals kosher. Some of those are marked halal and kosher. But all of those are vegetarian. And there's only four different entrees in there. But there are 3 of each. And then there was a separate box within that box that had all the accessory packs, and they were all identical. So the only differences in there would be the little pieces of candy that were stuck in there. But I've seen a different company with something similar at the mark there is kosher, so I might get some of those and see how those are eventually. And I've had one halal French RCIR. It was marked halal on the box. And I've had 2 halal British rations. One that used to be the 12-hour, now is like the single meal 8-hour. And then the 24-hour ORP. It was the same. It was a chicken with dal. Dal is basically it's lentils, almost like a soup, but it's as thick as this fruit soup. But the chicken is halal. But that was really good. So I've had that same British entree twice. One in a 12-hour, one in a 24-hour. But there are a few other ones. They're a new lineup. And I've seen halal German rations on, online as well that I wouldn't mind trying. Well, there is a Chris in the house. Thanks for dropping in. And basically just this is strawberry fruit soup that I'm eating. I finished off the stroganoff, the scalloped potatoes. That was from 2012. And I threw some Russian crackers in with the stroganoff because it was so thin. And I put some of the scalloped potatoes in there too. So this is a German strawberry fruit soup. Really, really good, natural flavor. This is a French vanilla 3-in-1 coffee. And this is a South African Guava Drink. It's actually pretty good. I added a little bit more water to it because it was just a little bit too sweet. The packet didn't say how much water to add, so I just guessed, and then since I had a little bit left in my bottle, I just threw it in the drinking jar. But last Sunday I was not live because I was at Lake Icaria. They are just like the other scalloped potatoes I've had. The cheese sauce is quite thin. The potatoes were still pretty firm. They weren't overcooked, and I mean they hadn't gone to mush, but the cheese sauce is salty, and it was a bit thin. I would prefer my scalloped potatoes in a thicker cheese sauce. That's not quite so salty. But I put some of that in the stroganoff. The beef in here, it's like ground beef that's been reformed into cubes. But it was seasoned right. I got the mushroom flavor. There are a few bits of mushroom. Wouldn't mind seeing a few more bits of mushroom in there. I could taste the sour cream. but the sauce seemed just a little bit dark. I thought maybe it should be a little bit lighter in color. But for a commercially produced stroganoff, this was actually not that bad. Oh yeah, I didn't catch any fish, but I tried. Yeah, we weren't the only ones who were not having great success with fishing. Some other people would ask us how we were doing with fishing. We'd say, well, not much. Or we'd gone into the bait shop at the marina, and the woman in there had asked us how we were doing fishing. Said, not so good. But yeah, they're just not. The fish just were not having much of what we were offering. They would basically nibble and then they say, oh no, I'm not having any more of that. I don't know if it was the weather that was just keeping them deep. But I don't think some of the people that were out on the boats were doing much better. But yeah, other than that, we had a great time. My great niece had a playmate, a friend come over to spend a couple of nights with us, so she got to have someone to pal around with. Yeah, I'd say the fish are social distancing. But we went to the beach and to the lake twice. Second time with my great niece and her friend. So there are not a whole lot of people at the beach. The second day we were there. The first day we went to the beach, it was a lot busier. But it wasn't as crowded as it had been in the past when we'd been there. But we had enough wood for 2 good fires. And one of my sisters got to test out a new gas-powered griddle that she bought. And it worked pretty darn good. And I tested out my Olight headlamp. So I took that with me. I only had it on a couple of times, but when I did have it on, it did exactly what I needed it to do. And I had offered it to one of my nephews, where basically he was night fishing, but he didn't have a light, so I basically aimed my headlamp at where he was so he could see what he was doing. I offered to let him borrow it, but he said no. But he did appreciate having the light aimed at him. I had another little flashlight on me as well, but I only turned that on once while I was there. But we had a storm come through. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was sure windy. But then we had threats of rain and storms, but they fizzled or they went elsewhere and basically left us alone. Oh, I have been looking at thrift stores for cast iron, One time last year, I found one. It's a little tiny thing, probably no bigger than this bowl. But I didn't have the money to buy it. I was basically looking around at that point. But the next time I went in there, I had money to buy it, but it was gone. I have yet to see another piece of cast iron in there. And I went in there a couple weeks ago to poke around, but I did not see any in there either. I saw some other items that I would like to get, but since I just got kicked off again, sorry about that, but I didn't have the money on me at the time, but I was just in there to look around just to see what was available. And they had changed the store around a little bit. But yeah, I have found quite a few unique things in thrift stores, but I'll keep looking. I do not own any cast iron whatsoever. But eventually that will change. I will get something. I know. We have not had much for garage sales, and I typically don't go to garage sales by myself anyway because they're usually too far from a bus stop. So I just basically stick to thrift stores and maybe hitting up locals. Might be able to scout for me. But I would rather buy one that has already been over a few fires than drop huge huge load of money for a new one that is of actually good quality. I won't buy if a store like Walmart or Target has a cast iron. I don't think I would trust it. I've also seen on other videos where people would get these carbon steel pans and you season them just like you would cast iron, only they're not as heavy. One guy found a lot of three of them, 3 different sizes, for the price you'd pay for a good cast iron Dutch oven. And he cleaned them up, he reseasoned them, ready to go. I'm sorry, I just keep scarfing down this fruit soup because it's so good. Yep, I think nowadays people are seeing the value of owning cast iron cookware because you can cook on the stovetop, you can use it in the oven, you can put it over the fire, open the fire, and if you get the Dutch oven that has the rim on the lid, you can put your coals from your fire right on top of it So you're heating from top and bottom. And a couple of years ago, with one group I camped with, we had cherry chocolate cake in a Dutch oven. That was so good. And then one of those Dutch ovens was used to do fry bread, and we had venison tacos on fry bread. Yeah, we were eating good that weekend. Yeah, we cooked. We had a large cast iron griddle, which you flip it over, and it would give you the grill marks. So I cooked my beef bacon on that. The couple that owns all those pieces, they cook for reenacting groups that do Civil War reenacting or the Renaissance Fair type things, where you need more period type cookware, and the cast iron fits the bill for that. They got the lifting hooks, they got the hanging hooks, cast iron tripods that you can hang your pots from. Yeah, they probably have about 30 pieces of cast iron. That they have used for these events. And when you're cooking for a lot of people, you got to have a lot of cookware to do it, and they have the ability to do it. But one of my sisters brought her cast iron frying pan on this trip, and so we used it for some of the cooking that we did. And that fit just perfectly on the camp stove. I haven't seen anything new in the chat, so I don't know if my chat is froze, or if you're not hearing me, or if your chat's froze. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. I was in the history or the Ration Museum chat earlier, and a couple of times it would act up or freeze. Or maybe it would freeze up for people watching, but the Ration Museum has their stream at 5 p.m. Eastern or 4 Central. In fact, he ended it just as I was getting ready to go live. In fact, I left the chat before he had actually cut it off, so that I could get mine going. But he was getting ready to wrap it up anyway. But that one was a good one today. So got to see him and a helper starting to organize some of the collection that they have in there now. Now that they have a space, I will be able to send them the 1987 German emergency ration, and I ordered another one of those. So when I get that one, I will open up one of those, to look it over. I don't know if I will actually attempt to sample one of the compressed food bars, or if I will attempt to make the tea, because there's either a tea bag or a powdered instant tea in there, or if I will just simply open up the box, look at all the components, and then put it all back in and send it along with the sealed one to him, because he found a metal box that was a similar type ration but from a different year, but he does not have the 1987, what I'm assuming to be a West German emergency ration in a cardboard box. But since I have now ordered a second one, I got that one from foreignmemory.com, and MRE Mountain also has some of those, but I ordered it from Foreign Emery along with the Norwegian Arctic Field Ration and one of their logo masks that they now have. But that will be my plan for that German emergency ration, is to open up one box on camera, look it over, decide whether or not I want to actually sample one of the compressed food bars or make the tea, or just simply open it up, look at the items, and then put it back in the box, leaving all the items sealed in their original wrapping. But it will still be cool to open one of those up on camera. I don't know if anyone else has ever opened up one of those on camera before. Might have to check to see if Steve has. But I may throw in there some of my Japanese, the World War II military script that I have in my currency collection, and it has a Japanese writing on it. Military script is kind of like a on-base currency that U.S. soldiers would have been issued, that they can use it like cash in certain locations in the country that they're based in. So I don't know if that would have been their pay that they're issued all in that script, or if it's just a supplemental that they can use to buy certain items there if they couldn't use the US dollar. But I think the Japanese script is the only one that I have. I have a few notes of different values. They're like 50 cents, 25 cents, something like that. So they're small. Probably a little bit bigger than one of these Russian crackers. Maybe just a little bit bigger than that. So since Sean is collecting non-food items that would have been related to food service or something like that, he has mess kits. He's got the early versions of ration heating systems. Got log books, military recipe books for making large quantities of specific foods. How much of each ingredient to put into a particular food. And then, the cook just had to scale it up or down for the number of people that they were feeding. He's got trays that would have been used in field kitchens or, mess halls. And he even has some food that has either been packaged to go up into space or has actually been up but not actually eaten. It was just stuff that it was taken up, came back down, and somehow he ended up with some of it. So he has samples of space rations, I guess you could call it. But now that they have a place where he can store all this stuff in a climate-controlled environment that has no windows, so no sunlight can get on any of it. It's all temperature controlled, and it's a low access building, so only people who work in that building are allowed to go in there. But the location is such that he is close to different historical sites, so that eventually when he's got all of the display sets that he wants to get, he can set up displays to show the public the history of various types of rations. So he can free up his basement, because that's where he's been storing all that stuff now, and who knows how many tons of stuff he actually has. And with this permanent location that he has, and he raised the money to actually pay a full year's lease on it. So he's in a good position to get some volunteers to help him catalog everything and scan, or at least take digital pictures of all of the pages of all of the books and documents. So that will be awesome to see the progression of that. And now people can send him items to add to the collection. And so when I told him I had this German emergency ration, he wanted pictures, so I sent him pictures. And he's definitely excited to have it in the collection. I've been on here over 2 hours. So is there anything else you want to ask about or chat about while I'm emptying this bowl? Or drop a comment if you're still able to hear me, so I know that I'm not froze or anything, since I have been kicked off a couple of times. But short interruptions, YouTube puts all the segments together, so in the playback it'll be pretty much a seamless video. Maybe a slight jitter at the break point. Then of course I say that I got cut off. That's pretty much the only way you'd know that there was an actual interruption during the stream. Well, that's okay. Maybe maybe you'll find something. I'll probably end up doing that or Facebook Marketplace. I'll finish off that bowl. But I should post pictures of these two wall mount lamps that I brought with me from the previous place that I lived. I bought them to install over there, but I just never got that done, so I brought them here. But they're still in a box. They've never been used. What I may do is I may try to sell those and maybe use or trade them for cast iron. I could go that route. Oh, wow. If you can score at least some of them for that price, and if they were never used, I definitely would go for at least some of those pieces if they're the size that fits your needs. Yeah, I would like one of those little... I've seen a couple of YouTubers have these, the little cast iron skillets that are probably no bigger around than this bowl. I mean, that would be just the right size to cook a couple of eggs or maybe a burger or something small like that. Of course, I prefer to cook my burger on a grill. But yeah, having one of those little cast iron pans would be awesome. And back in the day, we had these things that we call them Tonka toasters. And I've seen YouTubers have the square versions, but it's basically two cast iron pieces that you put your food on it, and then you close them up. You put it on the fire or whatever heat source you're using. Then a few minutes into that, you flip them over, and then you let that go for a few minutes more, and then you open it up, and you've got your finished burger. Usually you see people put pieces of bread with something in between the pieces of bread in it, or maybe you put a burger in it, or something that or something loose that might otherwise get lost through a grill. But we had the round ones. Oh, wow. That would be awesome if you could score those. Is that Lodge? Or no, Lid? Are those? If they're Lodge, that's supposed to be one of the top brands. But yeah, if you get a pan with the lid that's perfectly matched for it, then that would be the way to go. Oh yeah, that would be awesome if you could score those. So I would say, if there are some left that you can use, I would get it before it's too late. Get it while the getting's good. And when my grandparents had their cast iron, I don't know where most of those ended up. I think my mom might have ended up with some, because I know she had a couple of pans, and my sisters have one or two pans. But if that's all that they have left that they kept, or if that's all that grandparents had, I don't know. But at least we have a few. We have the skillets, but no Dutch ovens. But I've seen YouTubers with Dutch ovens that would probably be maybe just a little bit bigger than this bowl. And that's a perfect one person size. But I've seen on videos baking bread in it, doing a pizza in it. Oh yeah, I would go for it. I've already paid all my bills for this month, except for one. Tomorrow. And then I got to pick up a prescription. And so after that, and buying a few necessities for at home. Yeah, I'll be pretty much spent for the month. Oh, wow. That would be awesome to do. I've had them done in a regular oven, and I've had them in a restaurant. When I had them in a restaurant, I don't know how they were cooked. I don't know if they were done in the oven or if they were browned on the stovetop and then finished in the oven. But yeah, if you can, yeah, Dutch oven would be awesome to put those Cornish hens in. So I really hope you can get at least a couple of those. Yeah, because of the condition of my deck, I can't have much of anything of any real weight to it out there because part of the wood is rotten and I've pulled all of my furniture in. So eventually that deck will have to be replaced. Wow. That's actually not a bad price for those. We used to have a Safeway here in Iowa, but we don't have those here, or at least not in my part of the state. Our main stores here are Hy-Vee, and we used to have Dolls, but those have either become Price Chopper or I think Money Saver is the other one. Yeah, real creative name. And we got Aldi, we got Save-A-Lot, and we got Fairway. We used to have Albertsons, but they really up. And of course, we have the ethnic stores like La Tapatía, which I have not been in quite. And got Halal groceries, where I go at least once, twice a month. Plus, I'm friends with the owners of that store. But, yeah, those are pretty much all we got here that I can get access to. Not counting Walmart or this Target or the dollar store or Sam's Club. Though a couple months ago I did renew my Sam's Club membership. Oh, if it's like the one that we got here, you can find goat meat, you can find lamb, you can find Middle Eastern and Indian spices. You can find imported candies, coffees, teas. cookies and breads that you wouldn't find in other stores. You can get ghee in jars or really big cans. You can get some of the dry beans and rices that some stores may not have. Costco, I think the membership there is like $55. So when I did my Sam's Club membership, I paid $45. Yeah, you can get in some of these stores, you can get your meat cut to order. For instance, if you order, say, a certain amount of goat meat, you can either get the pieces cut into larger chunks or smaller pieces. I don't know if that particular store where you're at would cut it off the bone, or if you would get it bone in. But you can get it in, at least the one I go to. If someone needs to get, say, 15 pounds of goat meat and 15 pounds of lamb for, say, like a wedding dinner, they can get that. And the store will, if you tell them far enough in advance, they can order a huge big box of it that would normally be a size that a restaurant would order. And we've done that for the mosque. Of course, this Ramadan we didn't have our nightly iftar dinner, so I didn't get to help do all that prep stuff and help dig into those big boxes of chicken legs or goat or lamb or beef chops. But yeah, if you order enough in advance, you can get enough meat to feed your meat, and they'll so you can go pick it. Yeah, I would definitely check out that Halal store. And you just may get hooked. Especially if you like unique flavors and blends. If you've never tried basmati rice before, you can get a small bag of it just to try it. Or if you've never tried a certain kind of lentil or fava bean or different curry blends, you can get some of those and try them out. Or even if you want to try Somali coffee or an African tea, you can do that. Just get some, try it out, and see if you like it. I mean, food, I love places like that because there's just so much there to have a little fun with. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. I'm down to my guava drink, and I'll munch on them Russian cracker bits later, but I want to go ahead and get these in the kitchen so I can start getting stuff cleaned up. But again, I do hope you have success in getting those lodge pans you want. And again, do go check out that Halal store in your area. And I'll be back again next week with the 24-hour zombie ration from allmres.com. I will split that into 3 meals. So that will be 3 successive Sundays. Unless I choose to split that up and go with something else in between them. But I'll definitely bust into that bag next Sunday. See what's in it. Because frankly, I forgot what I ordered when I customized that thing. But yeah, you can do custom rations on allmres.com. And of course, Minotaur Trading Company is coming out with some new stuff. But yeah, thanks for coming, and hope to see you again next Sunday, 7 p.m. Central. If not sooner in someone else's chats. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.